This car really surprised me this past weekend. So we went to STL Solo Autocross #1, got 4th overall, 12th in PAX. This car was keeping up and was just about a second slower than the top guys. #1 was in a Porsche, the other one was in a Cayman GT4. This thing did extremely well, super happy with it. The new tires freaking rock. But I wanted to go through, so these tires overall are just over 1 inch taller. So I did have to do some clearancing. Inside, the bump stop's not short or not long enough. It does contact on the top part of the fender arch. Not a big deal. There's nothing that can really puncture a tire, just wearing away some paint. Another thing I had to do was come in here and clearance these, and I rounded them off, or I rounded them over the edge of the fender and the bumper. So that really helped. First test drive though, on this side, it caught this lip right here and was scraping. So you can see I rounded it off, or rounded them around the fender and the bumper. Everything seems to be good. Checked clearance everywhere else, and I think we are good. The car performed fantastic. It put the power down. I was running the 450 horsepower tune-up, took the power like a champ. You know, of course, spun on the line in first gear. That's to be expected. But second gear, anytime I put the throttle down, it gripped up really well. Super happy with that. Overall, the aero balance, it is rear bias for sure. The front wants to push just a little bit. The good thing about these tires is you start feeling it understeer and you can just go a little bit more and then it brakes. So it's very predictable. And the breakaway characteristics, the rear grip was just fantastic. The rear end never really stepped out unless I wanted it to, and I started making adjustments to the rear shocks, trying to get the rear of the car to rotate, especially on trail braking. So I did go about 6 clicks stiffer in the rear, and that seemed to make it trail brake the way I wanted it to. In the last run, you'll see that was when I made another 3 clicks, and it stepped out right before the first big slalom. That's pretty good, so I enjoyed running. The only other thing I can really do up front, I can add fender vents. That'll help a little bit, and then I can also add canards. And I think I might do that towards the end, or towards the later part of the season. But overall, these new tires, the full aero package, and actually getting to feel it, car felt really great. My buddy Andre rode with me about 3 times out of the 6 runs, and he was blown away because he rode in the car last year on the Nankang AR1s. And it was twitchy, kind of difficult to control, but everybody was kind of like, well, it's a 400 horsepower Miata. It's gonna be pretty difficult to handle. It feels like you're driving Miss Daisy now in a great way. It's like everything is coming at you so fast because you're going fast, but it's very predictable. It does exactly what you want. Didn't lock up the tires at all, so braking performance on the RA71 RS are vastly great, or vastly better than the AR71Rs, or sorry, AR1s. But overall, let's get to the video, show you guys how this thing did. You will know in the first 2 runs I DNF'd. Again, I was pretty excited with just how the car felt, and everything was moving a lot faster than I've experienced with this car, especially the slaloms. I've never been able to handle the slaloms and like accelerate through them. Typically, I'm just kind of going steady state, and it's still, I feel like I'm right on the verge of slip angle and everything like that. This weekend, it felt super good. I felt like I could go faster. I need to learn the car a little bit more, but it means that we have, you know, a pretty good car. Like I said, 4th raw on time, and this is the first heat cycle on these tires. I think it's only going to get better from here. So check out the video. can see, car did really well. The small changes in the rear, like I said, I only went up 6 clicks stiffer in the rear, and just most of it was tire pressure changes. And the car really responded. So those 6 clicks stiffer in the rear really made the car rotate. You can see in that last run, it was really rotating on the trail braking. It is set up pretty soft, so it does allow the body to kind of move around. So stiffening up the rear really allowed that car to kind of change directions on trail braking. It might go down like maybe 2 clicks more and just dial it in from there. Overall though, tire pressure made a huge difference. My buddy Andre on the first event on these RE71RSs, he was running like 28 PSI. And then here, let's take a look at the rollover. So you can see during runs, they were getting down to about here, which we could probably go a little bit more if we wanted to, but it's not too bad. On the rears, again, these were about 2 PSI less, and they are not folding over as much, but they are to the arrows, so not too bad. So not sure if we'll even really try going any lower on pressure. The car feels really balanced. Like I said, front needs just a little bit more aero grip, I think. And we can either do canards, fender vents, both. Could do an air dam, things like that. So there's a couple small things I want to do. They're not really pressing considering how well the car did. But yeah, so I'm glad the first event's done. We have another event here in 2 weeks. It's Kansas City mid-div. Going back up to Kansas City, which is where the first event of this year was, and the car didn't do too hot. But after seeing how the car did on these new tires, I think we'll be just all right. I'm not near as worried anymore. Plus, the course was wet, cold, and it was kind of a tight and technical layout. So we'll just see how the car does at KC Mid-Div. Thanks, guys. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you want to check out some more videos of the EcoBoost Miata.